Today's word is flexible. Very important word in our life. I embrace change with poise and flexibility. Life is filled with unexpected changes that present new challenges. My ability to gracefully adapt to life's twists and turns hinges on my firm connection to spirit. With divine wisdom as my ever-present internal guide, I recognize that I can never be truly lost or permanently stuck. Even if it sometimes feels that way, I embrace all unknowns with poise, adjusting effortlessly to every new circumstance. I might be facing the most unforeseen obstacles or seemingly disruptive detours, such as a divorce, loss of a job, or medical diagnosis. Whatever the challenging circumstance, I do not become fearful or rigid. Aligned with spirit, I stay open-hearted, flexible, and calm. My life is always supported by perfect love. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm chapter 119, verse 105. Namaste.
You are the face of God, a beautiful, divine expression. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And take that in. You are the face of God. All that you need, all that you ever will need, is right here, right now, within you. Precious, beautiful, divine child of God. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. When you breathe out gratitude. Gratitude for the amazing wonder that is always around you. And in your next breath, drop down to your heart area, your heart center. See it filled with beautiful light, pulsing right there with every heartbeat, reminding you that you are that. You are love. And see that light begin to expand past your very body into your aura. See it surround you, embrace you with its warmth and its comfort and its power of love. And allow that light to continue to go beyond and fill this room. Fill this room with love. For there is only one of us, being held and embraced now and always by all the goodness of God. For that is all that there is, all the love of God. Feel it in your very fibers of your being. now and always. That is who you are. This beautiful light that is filled with love. Take a deep breath and allow that. Let's spend a few moments just allowing ourselves to be bathed in that love. Before we return back to this room, remember who you are. You are the most magnificent face of God. You have more than enough to give, and there is unlimited supply to receive. So take another deep breath. Open your eyes and turn to the person next to you and see the face of God. See the beautiful face of God. Hold it in your heart all week long. Hold it in your heart. Namaste. Join me in the Lord's Prayer. Good morning again. Good morning. I am so very honored and grateful for this opportunity to share with you today what Spirit has placed in my heart, knowing that there's really only one of us, and whatever I share, it's really more for me, but it's really for all of us. I thought long and hard about where to begin this morning. And I guess I want to just start with a small conversation. How many of you ever heard that phrase, that you are more than your body? Yeah, we've all heard it, right? We kind of tend to dismiss it because in a way, we're somewhat attached to this form, this body. And that's not a bad thing. But what it is really just a total weight of all our bones and network of arteries and veins and capillaries and blood and eyeballs and toenails and skin. That's what it is. And yes, we need to take care of it. We need to tenderly love it and care for it because it's the only vehicle that we have here on this realm that helps us get around. And a healthy, good caring is good. That's really good. But we are not this body. And somehow we know it. We sense it. No one really has to tell you that. You kind of know that it is. For ages, people have wondered if we're not this, then what are we? That's the proverbial question that has happened for hundreds and hundreds of years. And men and women from all walks of life have asked that question. Socrates, a very famous, well, no Socrates, famous philosopher, he said that to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. Charles Fillmore, in his book, Talks on Truth, said with lots of emphasis, he said, O Son of God and Son of Man, know who and what you are. Know thyself. And I know that he said it with urgency because there were all kinds of exclamation points all over that writing. So it is important. Obviously it is important. So I started to wonder, well, what do they mean by know thyself? Does that mean that I need to know, how tall I am and my body weight? Does that mean that I need to know about my personality? Bubbly and joyful or grumpy or A-type personality? Or does it mean to know about my fears and my worries and my concerns? I don't think so. Because those are things that are constantly changing. I no longer occupy the same body that I had many years ago, and neither do you. And my fears and worries have changed. So it's not necessarily that. So I have to wonder, if it's not that, then what is it? I go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27, where it says in a very little bit of words, it says that God created us in His own image and His own likeness. Now, I know that God does not look like you and I. As a matter of fact, God is spirit. So that's telling me that there is a me, a self, that is also spirit. It's invisible. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it. You cannot experience it through the realm of our senses. But that's who we are. We're perfect. We're whole. We have all the attributes of the divine God. We have divine creativity. We have divine intelligence, divine wisdom. We have everything. Everything that God is here right now within us. It's almost like I've heard it said that if you were to take a drop of ocean water and examine it under a microscope, it would have exactly the very same elements that make up the entire ocean. So if we're created in the image and likeness of God, then we have all of God's self right here, right now within us. Isn't that quite magnificent? So when you think about that, we are pretty special people. And yet, we rarely identify with that part of ourselves. Most of the time, we identify with what we think we are. And because of that, we have caused ourselves great suffering. Can you agree with that? Yes, because who we think we are is not who we are. In a way, we're having an identity crisis. Yes, we are. So, unity teaches that our identity is made up of two attitudes of mind. One of them is your personality, and the other is your individuality. Now, your personality is that part of you that thinks and feels that's who you are. It is based on your experiences. So, if I were to ask anyone, who are you? Well, you may come up and say to me, well, you'll start telling me all your experiences. I was born on such and such a day, I was born here, and I have had these experiences, and this has happened to me, or this has not happened to me, and I'm a mom, and a wife, and all those things. And so before you know it, all those things that we've accumulated, all our thoughts, all our feelings, all the beliefs, all the labels, have formed a perception of who we think we are. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, there's an individuality. Now, individuality is who you truly are. That is your image and likeness of God. It is unboundless, unlimited. It is all that God is. I just mentioned that. That is your individuality. So on the one hand, you have your personality. On the other hand, you have your individuality. No wonder we sometimes struggle because we lack understanding. Charles Fillmore says in his book, right here, let me just pull it out. Here it is. The Mysteries of Genesis. He says that when this human, this personality, which is very often dominated by a very undisciplined ego. So when this human self has made union with the divine image and likeness of the I am, the true I am comes to action. Now I want you to visualize that here. When this, your personality, comes into union with oneness with who you really, really are, you walk together, then the true action of the I am begins to express through you. You kind of turned yourself over to this image and likeness I am. And what happens is that, continue here, he says, when the I am comes into action, this is the Christ Jesus, the Son of God, evolved and made visible in creation according to divine law. You see, Jesus was not the only Son of God. We all are. And I did not know that for a very long time. For a very long time, I thought that the only divine human was Jesus, that he had the only divinity. But that is not so. The Bible says you are created in the image and the likeness of God itself. And therefore, all that God is, all of it is within you. And when you decide, because choice is a fundamental power that we have, when you decide to ask the living Spirit of God that dwells within you in this body temple, when you decide to ask it to help you come in union with who you truly are, then you will begin to express all the qualities that are already within you. I feel like I'm teaching a class here. So here's where it gets interesting. Because you see, all the time that we have been thinking that we are this part of ourselves, we have kind of separated ourselves because, we think that this is it. And so we created a little personal self that is disconnected from all the other little selves that are out there. And we build all kinds of barriers between us. Because of course, I want to protect my little self. I want to make sure that it's safe. I don't want to hear anything or right away, because this little self is always very fearful. very worried, very concerned. What are they saying? What are they thinking? And so you create all this little self within yourself, but then you create illusions about those other little selves that are out there as well. And so you cause a sense of separation, and you feel afraid, and you feel anxious, and you feel alone, because you no longer feel connected to one another or to the source of your being. But when you allow this self to surrender itself and come into union with the truth of who you are, then you're no longer feeling alone, because you will know that you are forever, with every breath that you take, connected to the one power, one presence in the universe, and that is in your life. And that this one power and this one presence will guide you. And it will show you all that you need to do. And in the moment that you're experiencing anything in your life, you will know what to do. Because you're not depending on your little self here. You're now in your higher self, allowing that higher self to be your guide. And this is why this is so important to understand. Because until we know that we know who we are, we're going to experience suffering. And knowing, when you finally figure out, okay, I know who I am, and I'm a work in progress, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, we all are. But I'm a work in progress, I know who I am. I can remember when I'm having an experience who I am. See, who you identify with in terms of personality or individuality, who you identify with will determine how you will experience your life. That's why it's so important. Because you will make choices based on who you think you are. Most of the time, I have to remind myself of who I am. And one of the ways this beautiful, individualized expression of God expresses itself is through the choices that you make. You see, it has always longed to bloom within you. It is there, it's the seed, it's waiting for it to bloom. But you have to make that choice. And so when you make that choice, when you decide to make it moment by moment, because it truly is a moment by moment choice. When you start to make those moment by moment choices, you will react to the experiences of your life with the sacred qualities that are already within you. Then you will begin to experience more and more of the breath and birth of that power presence that is within you. I have to take a breath, because sometimes when I remember listening to this in one of the classes I was taking to, and I just couldn't contain myself. I started to cry. How can something so amazingly wonderful be here, right here, with every breath that I take, at any moment's call? It is that huge, and that precious, and that amazing. And it is worth every moment that we give it to be able to develop it. So, if you choose your higher self, and you choose it to be the guide that you will use to respond to your life experience, then you will respond from a place that has a more expanded awareness. Imagine it almost like this is the limited perception is your personality down here, the smaller self. And then there's a higher perception from your higher self. And when you begin to choose from here, things seem different. You no longer watch the world the same way that you did here, with fear and worry and doubt and all kinds of concerns. You see it from a higher perspective because you know who you are. And then in your circumstances, whatever they may be, you will respond from your sacred qualities. You'll be able to respond with love, and you'll be able to respond with peace, and you will be able to respond with kindness, and you will be able to respond with compassion, and all those sacred qualities that are yours. And the thing is that sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I can give that. I can be compassionate and loving and caring and patient, but we need to give it to ourselves as well. That is so important. That is the part that you must learn to love. To love ourselves when we are not, sometimes maybe when our health is failing us and we're no longer there where we used to be and we feel a bit sad about it. To be able to say, it's okay. Take the time to love yourself and care for yourself. Or if you lost a job, to feel that it's okay to take your humanity and cradle it. Cradle it with love and with patience and with compassion. And wisdom will come to you. Your mind will be illumined. And you will know that that too will pass. Because all the experiences of our lives are lessons. There is nothing against us. Nothing. How can it be? If we truly believe that God is all good and God is everywhere present, then there is only good. So the experiences that come to our lives are good. They're here to teach us and to help us evolve into who we truly are. So you can, from this higher perspective, accept the lessons gracefully and walk through it with them as you continue to evolve. Every moment is a sacred moment. And when you're grounded in the faith of knowing who you are, and that God is all good, and that all that you need is already within you, you can say to yourself, be still. Be still, Luz. Know who you are. Allow the presence that is within you to guide you and to give you peace in the midst of the storm, whatever that storm may be. It's different for each and every one of us. Now, I'm not saying that because you acknowledge your higher self and you are prayerfully seeking for it to reveal more of itself in you, that you're not going to have trials and tribulations. You're definitely going to have them. But I'm saying is that your trials and your tribulations, all the unpleasant experiences that will come into your life, you will be able to respond from a higher self. And so you will not be defined by that experience. And you will not be limited by that experience. And you will not be distracted by that experience. Because the experience will pass, but who you are will not pass. And all the gifts that you have will not pass. They're always available to you. So when you enter into your valley experience, know that that too will pass. And that you have everything that you need to be able to walk through it. There's a song that says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thy rod and thy staff will comfort me. What is that? It is your higher self. Those things are just shadows, and they will evaporate. And if you know your higher self, you will be able to walk through that experience gracefully. And even perhaps with a little bit of gratitude in knowing that you will get through. And that all is well. And that you will learn the lesson that needs to be learned. Sadly, if you identify, if you choose that you will remain identified with the smaller self, you will have limited perception. And then all the very same lesson, you may have the very same lesson, but you will have to learn it in a much more difficult way. Because what has happened is that you have added to the mixture worry and fear and doubt and separation. The very same lesson. You've just looked at it from a different place. And I know I've been there. I'm talking to myself too. You've got to remind yourself, if I am walking through an experience and I am feeling that, then I know right away that I need to stop. Stop. Whatever I am doing, stop. Take a deep breath. And return back to your knowing of who you are. It will be the most valuable time that you will give yourself. To keep reminding yourself. And the more you do it, the less you'll need to remind yourself. Constantly, take a breath. You know, don't say to yourself like sometimes I have said, oh, I don't have enough time. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do. No, that is the most valuable time. If you find yourself in a place of fear and worry and doubt and judgment and all those other negative things, then it's time to pause wherever you are. Take your breath, sink down to your heart, and remember who you are. And know that you have everything that you need. There's so much I want to tell you, but time is unlimited. I guess what I need to tell you most is that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. To be able to spend your time discovering that true self that you are. If I can say anything, recognize your power of choice. Every day you have an ability to choose. Choose to have an uncompromising time of prayer and meditation. Because that is the way that you will know your higher self. Choose to look at the experiences of your life from a higher perspective. Choose sacred qualities and response to the experiences of your life. Have the faith to do it. And the strength. You'll have everything that you need. And when you begin to walk in that manner, amazing things begin to happen. You continue to see the goodness of God in everything. Because it only takes a little bit of faith and a little bit of commitment. So, know who you are. Choose to respond to your life experiences from the place that is your higher self. Choose sacred qualities. Stop whenever you feel that you're not there. Take time to remember and recenter yourself. And spend quality time in prayer and meditation, knowing the power of who you are. Namaste.